100% or not 100%? That is the question. Exe the Hero joins the battle, and Game Club is heading north for the summer. This is Achievement Hunting 101. Hello and welcome to Achievement Hunting 101. I'm Poof, and thank you for listening. This is level 47. We've got a great show for you guys tonight, but before we get started, let me introduce to you my co-hosts. As always, we have the fellow olds, Nate and Elle. What's up, guys?
Hello!
Hello, Sonny.
Okay. And also with us, we have a very special guest. We have someone that you haven't heard from in a while, and you all know and love. We have with us Jeffy the Panda.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Wait, sorry. I'm getting word that he can't make it.
No.
Something about
I'm
indigestion
right
from too much bamboo?
I'm telling you, man, I'm right here.
Oh, hey, what's up, man?
Well, should I stay or should I go?
Talking to a panda.
Bum, 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 bum,
Here, I
bum.
thought we had Exe the Hero, but I guess, all right, okay. This works too.
Or,
Thought we were going to be both.
I'll pass it over to him.
All right.
Oh, man, you totally bamboozled us.
That was bad. That was really bad. If you guys didn't know, I'm Jeffy, by the way. You know?
What?
What?
Childhood ruined.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on, finally.
Oh, it's good for you to be here. So, the real reason we have you on is apparently you and I have to stand trial for some awesome review we did. Some people apparently didn't like it or something. Something about not knowing who, like, Drew Brees or Don Jones. Or,
Yeah, what was it? Drew Barrymore? Isn't it?
John Blunt? Joe, what was the guy's name? I don't know.
Or
He didn't mean nothing.
like Dan Thompson or something?
Oh my gosh.
I think
All right,
Nate
Kush, we're
was
starting-
about to kill
We're
himself.
starting our own podcast.
Domenico Bluth. That was it. Domenico Bluth.
Ah, that sounds right.
Very Italian. Hey, Domenico.
Apparently he did some old game back in the fossilized period or something or other. I don't know. Who cares?
You've never seen All Dogs Go to Heaven?
American
Honestly, I have
Tail.
not.
The Land Before Time?
I've seen both of them.
I have seen that
Okay.
one, but
Okay, so you know Don Bluth then.
That's the same
No, I
animation
don't.
style.
But you do.
All
man.
dinosaurs go to heaven.
All right. Well, let's get
Oh,
going.
gosh.
Let's get some achievement and gaming stories in.
Oh.
X, why don't we go with you first? You been up to anything? You did anything cool? This is your window of opportunity to say anything that you like.
very clever, very clever. Well, summer break means I get to play all the games that I don't have time to normally play.
I thought
So
you
let
were
me-
getting married.
No, that's not until Saturday. I got plenty of time. I guess we can start at the bottom to throw out lots of band references. I tried playing Claws of Furry? Not Fury, Claws of Furry. Because it looked like an easy 500 or so.
Well, thank you for pronouncing it correctly, because Elroy always messes it up.
Yeah. And I figured I'd just go for the easy points and then move on and not worry about the completion, only to find out that 3 achievements worth 300 gamer score are glitched or unobtainable,
no.
or you can't get them. So now I'm sitting with 2 out of 10, 200 out of 1,000 on my tag, which is very, very frustrating. On a more positive note, I got Puyo Puyo Champions not too terribly long ago when that came out. And I'm like, hey, Kelsey, we can probably play some Puyo Puyo Champions. Prepare to get your butt kicked, because, I'm really good at video games, and you're not. And about 5 rounds into it, she's like, oh, this is really easy. I figured out all the strategies, and now I can't beat her. And now I don't want to play Puyo Puyo anymore. Which, pretty sure she has more gamer score in it than I do, because she gets all the combos and knows all the tricks and whatnot. So, there's that. And then we picked up Degrees of Separation as well, which is a co-op puzzle game, if you guys are familiar with it. Most of the puzzles, the solutions are very straightforward once you see them, but some of them are tricky to figure out. So really our gameplay hasn't come down to I was right and you were wrong, therefore I solved the puzzle, but it's more like I'm wrong, or I'm right and you're dumb, So just listen to what I have to say and we'll solve the puzzle. So stop being dumb and we'll be fine. So that's been fun.
It sounds like great marriage advice.
Yeah.
All right, I got some breaking trivia for you guys.
This should be good.
X might know this based on a 360 game, but let's see. Puyo Puyo, there was a version that came out for the Super Nintendo and a version that came out for the Genesis. Do you know what they were called? And they had licensed characters to try to sell the game because no one would know what Puyo Puyo is.
I've actually heard this before, but I don't remember.
Drawing a blank here.
I would guess some sort of Street Fighter, but I don't know.
All right, for the Super Nintendo, it was Kirby's Avalanche. And the Genesis one you should know because it's on the 360 Genesis collection, and that's Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Okay.
That one.
Never would have come up with that.
Did you play that one? Because that one is a sort of an easy 1K. The Genesis collection.
I played the 360 version, not the X one.
Yeah, the 360 version. If you look at it, you'll know what I'm talking about. All right, carry on.
I played
my wayward
Mean Bean
son.
Machine on GameCube.
All right.
Some Sonic collection,
Yeah,
I think it was.
exactly.
Where I had a whole bunch of them.
Genesis games. Mm-hmm. That's what Puyo Puyo is. It's the little blobby guys, and you matched 4.
Tetris something or other, basically.
That's what that is. Tetris something or other.
And that's what Kelsey had said. She'd never actually played Puyo Puyo before. But she's like, oh, I know this game. This is easy. I've been playing this game forever. And, yeah, I'm just
All
bad.
games are the same. They're just rip off of one or the other. And it's okay. I'm bad at those games as well. What about you, El? How was your week?
My week was pretty good. I'm still working on my random to-do list. And interestingly enough, I got 2 games on my list this month that were both the Game Club games. So I've been working on both Soma and Spec Ops. Yeah, it is convenient. So it's been great. Michelle and I have been simuling the single-player games together. And so we did Soma. So we went through the first 2 achievements, and that way we could listen to Waka's talk. And then the next day we did the next 2 achievements, so we could listen to the second episode of Waka's talk. So that was awesome. And so the one on my to-do list, of course, is the last achievement in the game. And in an around 8-hour game, it's only a 1.3 ratio. So the bad news is I have to go through the whole game, but the good news is I get to go through the whole game. It encourages me to do that. So that's awesome. And
actually playing the game she paid for is not a bad
thing. Shocking. Unbelievable. And Spec Ops is, unfortunately didn't do too well at the box office per se, but it's a really, really great story. And Waka and BenL and I believe Mario was around for the first one, and Chip in a bathtub, at an airport was around for the next one. So I look forward to hearing the third one. So those were the 2 main games I played this week. What about you? Whoever's next on the list.
If by you, I mean me.
Let's start over. What about you, Nate?
What about me? I was playing the server shutdown game this past week and a little bit the week before.
Sounds fun.
I'm trying to squeeze in before Microsoft Jackpot and Happy Dungeons basically made it impossible to get the completions. And in between those, I was doing a little bit of Broforce and The Messenger.
Bro.
I was playing those because they were on the PC Game Pass, and they are quite fun. Whereas Happy Dungeons was fun a little bit, and MS Jackpot was not fun. I was able to actually get the completion in Jackpot, I'm going to say 2 days ago. It might have been yesterday. It's been a weird time. I think it was 2 days ago. And Happy Dungeons I gave up on 2 days ago because it just wasn't going to be possible. They removed events, and that was kind of what I was counting on, was being able to go and do this one event where you basically run in, go to the right, kill a guy, rinse, repeat. And I was going to do that over and over and get a whole bunch of XP and hopefully make it to 50. They took that away, and it was just going to take too long. So had I started a week or 2 earlier, completely on me, I would have been able to do it, but so I passed on that. And then, of course, the next server shutdown is next. Well, it's not a shutdown, but it's leaving Game Pass, is Next Up Hero. And I have 3 achievements left in that, so that's kind of my focus before I go on vacation. Because once I leave to go on vacation, I will not have access to it. And when I get back, it'll be gone out of Game Pass.
Is that a Foreigner song?
No, it is not.
All right.
I feel
as far as I know.
I feel like that's a game that I should be all about, but I'm not.
Next Up Hero?
Next Up Hero, X the Hero. I don't know.
Oh, yes. I see.
Hero.
It's
It's a beat 'em up, right?
It's an interesting game. It's gosh,
No?
how would you even describe it? It seems like an experiment.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it seems like an experiment in roguelite games and random generated levels that you can kind of author. So you sort of set up some initial parameters. Of a different game.
Okay.
Yeah. It's interesting. There's a little bit of fun to be had in it, but some of the achievements are very user dependent. So you need a lot of people to play this one particular level up to whatever particular point and not beat the boss. So you kind of need kind of a community in agreement to say, okay, we'll get this far and then we won't kill this boss and we'll let everybody get this achievement. And luckily, I think it was Chindocta about a year ago or however long it was ago that mentioned, hey, it seems like people are working on this. And so we kind of all slammed it out. Everyone that was interested slammed it out, and everyone that wasn't, I don't know where they're going to be right now. It's going to be very hard to get it now. But, yep, so that game, I'm hoping to get that done before I take off. How about you, Kenny?
Cool. I had an interesting week between this past show, which, by the way, sorry I came out a little bit late. Between technical difficulties and me being sick, that did not help. But the game I'm going to talk about is the game I streamed Saturday night, which is Reverse Crawl. I know, Nate, you were interested in this game, weren't you?
Possibly. I didn't actually watch that much of it, but I hear you had a good time.
I did. This is quite possibly my favorite game that I've streamed so far.
Nice.
Especially on at least the indie side. Yeah, it's definitely up there with like Purple Chicken Spaceman. If you don't know what Reverse Crawl is, it's like an RPG turn-based game, and it's very similar to Final Fantasy Tactics, but like on a dumbed down level, I guess you can say. So instead of having this giant map with elevation and obstacles and stuff, it's just a small board that's flat. You kind of like you go into battle, you have so many opportunities, so many chances to be able to beat these guys. You can bring out different hordes of minions. It's a little difficult to explain if you're go watch a stream or videos or something, you be able to get the idea. But if you like the Final Fantasy Tactics turn-based games, I highly recommend this game. It's from Digerati. This game was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of like a cartoony anime type art style.
But don't you play as the bad guys, hence reverse?
Yeah, so where does the reverse come in? Yeah.
If we
didn't dawn on him clearly.
If we do play as the bad guys, I have not gotten that far yet. So
I thought that was the whole
spoilers.
Yeah, I thought you'd do it from the start. But
yeah, you're the skeleton guys and against the heroes. No, that's what I thought was the whole point of the game.
Well,
maybe it doesn't start
you're
that way.
the skeleton guys, as in. So the story is.
Are you monsters?
You summon monsters. So like you kind of play as the king, sorta like he's in your squad, I guess you can say. And the Red Queen comes, attacks your kingdom, kills you, but your daughter is the princess. She is really into like black magic, and she's very what's the word, prolific, whatever that word is, in necromancy.
Prolific.
Prolific.
Very
That's
metal.
it.
Good.
There you go. Couldn't think of the word. Here, let me take another sip of coffee so maybe I'll wake up and get these words.
Whoa. Flipping.
Great podcasting right there. But she revives you, so now you're the Revenant King. You're this undead guy. And along with that Red Queen also killed off all your armies. So what the princess does is she revives soldiers, so that's where the skeletons come in under your command. And you go through and you recruit other teams. So like I have ogres with me, I have trolls with me, goblins, zombies you also use. I was trying to think of what the game that looks like. Chin Doctor actually told me it looks a lot like Vertical Drop Heroes if you guys played that.
I own it, but
Okay.
I haven't played it.
All right. Same developer, that's why it has that same art style.
Did you ride it?
This was, like I said, this was a game that I've been interested in. I've been wanting to play it for a while, just haven't gotten to it until this past Saturday. And I had a little bit more interest in playing this because one of the achievements, Red Dragon, appeared on my random to-do list.
Oh.
And as soon as I saw that, it's just like, all right, we're definitely getting a reverse crawl this month. And I didn't get to unlock it on stream. It was just a bit too far out. But I wound up playing the next day and unlocked it. So that's one more for the RTDO. I think I'm up to 8 now.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Yeah,
We're getting there.
You're in 30th place, my friend.
Well, last time I checked, I was beating Nate.
That's good.
What? Well, that's possible.
I think we have the same amount of unlocks, but I'm beating you in score.
That's very, very, very possible.
Yeah, you both.
And now Nate's going to go
8 is enough,
go
apparently.
after the RTDO.
I got a server closure to beat. Or a Game Pass to beat.
Got your priorities straight over there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I told everyone. Be gone for a week. I've got server closures.
And just to confirm, yes, I'm beating Nate by 200 points, so suck it.
Wow. Tough talk. Tough talk.
Okay. Interesting.
All right.
Well, I got to ask X the hero a question while he's here.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
How come you seemingly have no interest in the random to-do list?
I'll be honest, I don't actually even know what it is.
Wow.
What?
Well, I mean, I know the concept. But I don't know.
Have you done UHH?
I believe I signed up for it and was out in
that's right.
round 1.
Okay.
I don't know. I game how I game, and if
That's
I want to
fine.
do a contest, I do a contest. If I don't,
I feel like you would really like the RTDO.
Yeah, it's not
Is it-
really a contest. I mean, now it is because it's team-based, but generally speaking, you get a list of 25 achievements to go for, and it gives you incentive to plow through that backlog. That's how I've always used it. Now, like right now,
Oh, that's what it's best for.
Like right now, I'm playing Penny Arcade Adventures episode 2 on the 360. That's 10 years old, and
They had an episode 2? I thought they only had the first.
they had an
I still
episode
haven't beaten the
2,
first.
and then they had a 3 and a 4 on the indie game store with no achievements. Yeah, so stuff like that it gets you to play games in your backlog. That's all. It kind of picks, but if you have a lull and don't know what to play, it's helpful. There's no. If you get one on your list, it's whatever.
And that's the nice part about the RTDO, and I've been kind of saying this for the past few weeks, since I've been focusing on it more this month, because of the teams. There's been a couple of games that popped up on mine that's just like I want to go play it, but I just haven't. Like Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, I'm playing through that again. That's been one of those games that I've been wanting to go back to. Achievement popped up on that. It's like, all right, let's go back to that. And then I've also gotten a couple of games that I've dived that wanted to play, just never did. And now I got achievements. It's like, all right, let's have at it.
Yeah, I see that side of it. I feel like for the most part, if I don't have an achievement in a game, it's because I didn't want to go for it.
I can see that.
Like if I'm done with a game, I don't care about any more gamer score, don't care about the achievements.
Right.
I
but,
uninstall and I never plan to think about it again.
right. But you could also add games that you haven't started yet as well. So like
Okay.
if you buy a game, do you add it to my game collection on TA?
I do not. I'm
Okay.
ashamed to admit how big
Oh.
my game collection would be.
I think there's more people in your boat than not on TA, or so it seems in our community anyway.
I mean, honestly, that's how I got Reverse Crawl on my list. I added it to my game collection and was lucky enough that I got an achievement on it. So now it's like I was incentivized to go play this game that I've been wanting to play. Now, the downside to it is when you want to try to get a lot of achievements, you do get those achievements that you just know you're not going to be able to get. Like, I got my hardest achievement on my list, I can't do. And that's the 5-star all songs on Expert and Guitar Hero 3.
Oof.
I'm good at that game. I'm not that good. But with what you said, X, that kind of leads into our community question. Since you
boy.
play games and you uninstall them, we got a question that says, when is a game beaten? once you've seen the ending or after you get all the achievements. And I think this was actually brought up and talked about in Discord a few days ago.
Yeah, we,
I think it was
by
yesterday.
we, I mean me and Elle had a nice little argument. No, argument sounds too mean. And an exchange? How's that one?
Oh, this should be interesting.
A bit of banter.
Yeah, there you go.
I
Some
missed this
friendly
conversation.
banter.
I actually work at work, so...
Hey, I work at work too, but I don't have work right now.
You're a teacher. That doesn't count.
Wow.
I just pissed off so many
Right?
listeners.
Just watch your subscriber numbers just disappear. I feel like the issue... This whole conversation started with the game Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, where you get the last achievement, maybe 5-10 minutes before the ending of the game? So if all you're doing, you exclusively only care about achievements, you'll pop that last one, I believe it's the 12th one, for your 400 gamer score or 1,000 if you're playing on 360 or 1. And then that's it. A lot of people apparently uninstalled at that point and didn't bother to see the ending. So have you technically beaten the game at that point? You have all the gamer score, but you haven't seen the ending, so... Is it beaten? Have you completed it? How does that work? What do you guys think?
I say no. You haven't beaten it. You haven't finished it. Beating a game is when you see the credits roll. And I have an example for that. Red Dead Redemption. The first one. Until you see those credits roll, the game isn't done. And I'm just, for whatever reason, if someone hasn't played that, I'm sorry. But...
no, don't do it. Don't.
I mean, I haven't played it, and I have no interest, but I know the ending.
Why don't we just...
I'm not going to spoil it, but basically, you think it's over, but it's not. Until you see the credits roll, the game is not over.
That's fair.
That's not necessarily achievement related, though. I don't think you're 100% in that game.
Not achievement related.
Yeah, the more relevant example I was going to bring up was Skyrim, or like just a huge open world game like that.
How about Avatar? That's the most obvious one.
All right, do you want to start there?
I mean, yeah. That's the game where there's a whole campaign in there
front-loaded.
that I'm sure people just didn't bother doing.
I'm sure
I will
probably
very
99%
much say I did
of
not
people
beat that game.
didn't bother doing, yeah.
I did not beat that game. All I did was get the achievements. I completed it on the achievement side, but I did not beat it. Now,
I guess it's all up to you, right? You know, I've definitely done that myself, so I'm, of course, hypocritical. I've done it with some of the Ratalaika games, for sure, where they're basically begging you to stop playing their games.
Yeah, they more or less do, actually, reward you for not playing their games.
So something like Jack and Jill, I would have kept playing it, but no. Full Blast,
Full Blast, and I think we've mentioned
Probably
that a
done
couple
all
of
this.
times. You know, Ratalaika's, the games are good, but yeah, in my opinion, I've never beaten, quote unquote, a Ratalaika, for the most part anyway, because I've never went through the whole game. I got the 1,000, and I bolted.
So
I'm done.
Did you beat Final Fantasy VII when you saw the credits, or did you have to go back and get everything?
I would say for that,
initially,
I beat it. I don't think having to do every little thing counts as beating the game. For much like how, X just brought up for a second, Skyrim. There is so much to do in that game. I don't actually think you could, if you're talking about 100% in every little thing, I don't think you can actually 100% or beat, quote unquote, Skyrim if you're going that route.
Yeah, I don't think you can, because there's like the random messengers that'll just come up to you, and pretty sure those are just randomly generated.
There's so much in that game.
So, in the case of Brothers, which is where it started, I thought that was a special case because clearly a lot of love was put into that game and the story. So, knowing from everyone before playing that it was only an extra 10 or 15 minutes, I saw no reason why you wouldn't finish it. Or at least look up the end on YouTube. It's just weird how achievements have changed. Before achievements, if we played a game like that, we would have definitely seen the end. But then I think Chin Doctor countered, without achievements, we would have never played a game like that. So I don't know.
I don't know about that. Like, I would have played Brothers. I mean, that was a cool experience. It was a unique control scheme. 2 characters, 1 controller. but that's just me. I like indies. I like creative, different experiences. So I definitely would have played that.
I would say the Radalaikas we probably wouldn't have played. Most of them.
Radalaikas,
probably not.
Yeah, I would have skipped them, I think.
I might have played Full Blast just because I might have went through a sale and went, oh, this game's $4. Oh, this looks like fun. I like these type of games.
They might have tricked me with Metagirl.
You wouldn't have, though.
Metagal. Because I would have thought, oh, this is like a Mega Man.
Because
there's
been shovelware on all the systems, and you just probably wouldn't play them. Look at the Wii. The Wii had so much crap on it.
Look at any Nintendo.
Yeah.
Any recent Nintendo.
You just play...
Yeah, Nintendo's nothing but crap.
There's so much.
Whoa, them's fighting words.
No, I'm talking about you know what I'm talking about. There was a game based off of everything.
What, Big L's Broomstick Adventure?
Hell yeah. Wait a minute.
Well, the other thing is that the Brothers was a stack. So that was part of the contention there was that...
the second time around, yes. I got annoyed because it was mentioned the person did not watch the ending either time. X didn't do it the second time. That's fine.
I can understand not doing it a second time.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point I already knew what was going on, so I had no desire.
I did them, I think, 2 or 3 years apart, so at that point I just did it again.
I think I probably went through and just finished it because it was only 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's a game that I think earns, you probably feel like you want to see it because, at least for me, it was a good experience the whole way through. It wasn't like a Ratalaika. We keep coming back to that, where I didn't really feel like finishing out the game experience.
And the people that made Brothers also did A Way Out. And I haven't finished that one, but I've heard it's the same thing where you can get the final achievement before beating that game. And
yes, I believe so.
And I, from what I played so far, really like the story and the characters, so I would want to see what happens at the end.
Well, it's very much like Brothers in that you may not even know that there are achievements in the game. You could go from beginning to end without popping a single one.
That is true.
In regards to A Way Out, I will just add that Kelsey and I played that one. We got it on sale just as something to do. Figured we'd do like a level a day, so we booted it up on a Friday night, and then we couldn't put it down, so we played until we couldn't play anymore on Friday, picked it up right when we woke up Saturday, and just played until we beat it. That was when we played regardless of achievements.
So you finished the story?
We did indeed finish the story. We actually...
Did you have a guide?
We looked up a guide for the missable achievements, but you don't really need one for the story.
Right, okay.
With no spoilers, there's actually 2 endings, and we liked it enough that we actually went back and played again just to see the other ending.
Nice.
The whole way through?
No, you just...
Chapter select
from the last checkpoint or whatever?
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. See?
I need to play that.
You played for fun.
It happens.
And achievements.
It does happen.
I need to get Smitty to keep playing. We gave up after we got to an achievement that was very much basically ripped directly from Brothers, if you know which one I'm talking about.
Oh, that was on purpose. That was on purpose.
Yep. Yep. That was an ode to Brothers.
And it wasn't even subtle. It was quite obvious, too.
It's great.
Yeah, so whenever I see a bench in any form of life, I have to sit down and think of Brothers.
They do the camera pan just like it?
Yep.
Okay.
I really do just think of Brothers every time.
That's perfect.
I don't know, I feel like the whole, the end result of this discussion is that it depends on the person, and it depends on the game.
Agreed.
Like, I have the full achievement value in Skyrim, but I wouldn't say I've beaten it. But then... Like, I feel like I have beaten Avatar for all intents and purposes.
So it's not a multiple choice or a true false, it's an essay.
There you go. But what's the difference? Like, Avatar, I can't answer that about myself.
Avatar's a weird scenario. So say you got all the achievements going 4/5 of the way through the campaign. You might have felt more inclined to finish the campaign. But you barely get started, right?
That's fair. I believe it's the B button 16 times.
Something like that. Very close, anyway.
I just like to think there's a part in all of us that started gaming for a reason, and that was not the reason. And I know that that's a rarity at like an Avatar, but people paying $20, $25 just for that, I don't know.
But then on the flip side, too, you got to look at it from the developer standpoint. Like, I bought Brothers twice for Gamerscore. I would have purchased it 0 times, honestly.
Maybe.
If not for achievements. I know you guys said differently, but I wouldn't have played that one. Avatar, I bought Never mind, I bought that one used, but somebody bought it new, and they only bought it for achievements. You know what I mean? So the developer's getting your money. How much do they care?
Yes. I think when Avatar came out, they had no idea what they were doing.
That's also very true if you look at the early sports games.
Yeah.
Kick a field goal.
That came out
400 points.
2007, so... 2007, they had no idea what achievements were.
Home run, 500 gamer score.
I mean, it definitely does depend on the person. Like, in the case of Brothers, considering after you get the final achievement, it's 5, 10, 15 minutes more. For me, as someone who loves stories and plays lots of story-driven games and whatever, I would absolutely finish it because it's like I've invested this much time. I kind of want to see how it ends. But like for something like Avatar, as much as I absolutely adore The Last Airbender, I got the combo of 50 and then I was out. Like I said before, I don't actually think I beat the game. I think I completed it. Well, actually, I know I completed it, but no, I don't think I beat it. I barely played it. It's there for maybe 5 minutes, if that.
And then we have people that skip cutscenes.
Oh.
And dialogue.
Those people drive me nuts. I have a friend. The very first time I ever started playing The Force Unleashed was with a friend that did that exact same thing that skips all the cutscenes. And it drove me nuts because I'm like, I'm a Star Wars fan. I want to see the cutscenes. Stop skipping. Let me see Darth Vader.
Can you imagine playing Gears or Halo and skipping all the story? I guess if you just want the action, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
playing Kingdom Hearts and skipping all the story? Or...
That's the example I was gonna bring up. I can't imagine skipping the cutscenes in such a story-heavy game like that.
But people do it just to get to the gameplay. Is there anything wrong?
In those older games, the good graphics were in the cutscenes. So, like, you would play the crappy...
Yeah, really.
You would play the crappy gameplay and the crappy graphics to get to the cutscene.
Imagine...
I remember playing Tekken.
The endings.
One of the first Tekken.
Oh, yes.
You play Tekken. Tekken was fun. But the endings were...
amazing.
They were short. They were like 10, 15, 30 seconds, something like that. But they were, weird Japanesey endings. And, it made me want to get them all.
Yep.
There were no achievements back then.
It's a perfect example.
I wanted to get them all.
And internet wasn't a thing, so it's just like, well, I have to go through the story of this character because I want to know what happens.
So I wasn't skipping them; I was seeking them out. So completely different, I think.
What if you skip through all the dialogue in Final Fantasy VII?
That would be one weird game. And without a guide, there's no way possible you could figure out where to go.
If you somehow did, what would the story be? Eco-terrorists kill president.
Cloud's still a bitch.
Kill guy.
I'm not. Never mind.
All right, I guess the moral is to each his own. And Fug always yells at me for telling people how to play their games, and I guess he's right. Play your games your own stupid, wrong ways.
If it makes you happy, do it. You've already spent the money.
I think the biggest problem, honestly, is that people skip the endings and cutscenes just to get to that next game because they have so many games to play. I really think that is the issue.
That's still crazy.
I really think that's the issue.
What's the purpose of playing a game if you don't care about the story? But that's just, I guess it does depend on the game. Like,
bleep bloop.
Well, person is not going to be the person you're going to sit down and have a conversation with about the game or about the story.
Also true.
Yeah.
True.
I don't know, to counteract my own point, though, like Kingdom Hearts, that's just a blast to play. So I keep telling myself, like, pick up the Japanese stack or pick up the new Asian stack, at which point I would thoroughly enjoy every second of playing it, but I would totally skip the cutscenes because I wouldn't understand them. But I've already played it, so does that skew me in one way or the other?
No, I think we're talking about a first-time experience.
Yeah, I mean, definitely with the first-time experience because I'm half tempted to go buy Japanese Oblivion. And I'm going to skip everything because I don't speak Japanese, but I at least know what's going on.
Oblivion. But yeah, it's like FF7, the cheats they added in, right? So when you've already seen the story, you've already done everything. May as well put on those cheats.
Okay, that's actually a really good example as well. It would be one thing if I wanted to, just blow through the game, use all the cheats just to get it done, and I can get my achievements because I've beaten this game so many times. It's mind-boggling to me that you are playing it like that with the cheats. Instead of, just playing it.
I don't cheat.
Taking the story in and enjoying what it is because you've never played that game before.
And
I guess it is bad in some aspects because you know what's going to happen because it's such
I really
a popular
don't know
game.
what's going to happen outside of the one obvious thing.
Oh,
I know the one obvious thing, but that's it.
And since we haven't mentioned Guacamelee once this episode, I have to bring up that I think Chin introduced a way to, it was this really weird hack to basically start your game with like crazy abilities, like so you're even stronger at the end of the game than you're supposed to be because your skills just get added on.
That was
I was just like, I was so offended. I couldn't believe that someone.
I was pretty pissed you put that in. Yeah, that was some guy named Math Guy.
I don't
like
know,
Math
but this
Guy.
Talk about robbing yourself of like one of the best games of all time. That's horrible.
Yes, it takes away the exploration. It takes away the whole point, which is earning new skills and getting stronger.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
On the flip side, though, I would never play a game like Guacamelee 2 just because that's not my thing.
How do you know it's
Nothing
not your
against it,
thing?
just not for
How
me.
do we hang up? Where's the hang
No,
up?
really, but how do you know it's not your thing?
Just I've tried Metroidvania-style games before.
Play
and I
the
just
first
can't get
hour of
into them.
Guacamelee.
Yeah.
Just give it an hour.
You like beat 'em ups. This is a melee Metroid.
Give it an hour.
I don't know. My
Mexican
point
wrestling.
being,
And you're a funny guy. You like jokes. There's a lot of inside jokes, a lot of humor.
is
It's a very
maybe I
funny
do it
game.
for the humor. I don't know. My
Yeah.
point
there's-
being though is that I wouldn't play it, but knowing that there is a cheese method
You
might
might.
persuade me to play it, so that
All
I
right,
can at least get
interesting.
the story.
Interesting.
see, I'm actually completely with X on this one. I've had Guacamelee installed on my Xbox for I don't know how long now, and I have yet to push A to play
You're
it.
just spiting us.
It's just
spiting
yeah.
yourself.
I just look at it, and I just go, eh.
Add it to your game collection for RTDL.
But now I know that it's like, oh, there's an exploit, so I can just kind of just go through and just get the cheap experience. That actually makes me want to play it a little bit now.
Well, Els told you about the cheat on Guacamelee 1.
I know about
for the
the
360, yeah.
push
Or
start.
360, yeah.
I know about the push start exploit or whatever it was.
Change screen size.
Right. But like if I can just start off all powerful and I can just kind of, just go through it. And, of course, but that once again takes contradicts exactly what I just said about Final
We're
Fantasy
doing that a
VII.
lot tonight.
Yeah.
Man,
Play the tape back.
I guess I don't know. I guess it goes right back to what we said. It depends on who it is and what game it is, or what kind of gamer you are. Like I love RPGs, so going through Final Fantasy VII, cheating is insane to me. But at the same time, I'll go through Guacamelee cheating just so I can have that experience. And when you guys are talking about it, I'm not just spacing off.
Yeah. In FF7, I think I said in another episode, I'm just kind of skipping the battles to get to the story. Turn-based combat's a little bit outdated nowadays.
That 3x speed boost is a godsend, though. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice getting Eris's limit breaks with the 3 times and whatnot.
Yep.
I do appreciate it then. Saved me a ton of time.
That's the idea.
I can't even see starting on Final Fantasy VII. I wasted so many hours in college. It's just, ugh.
You didn't waste time in college. You're on an award-winning podcast now. It was all
That's
worth
right,
it.
He's
award-winning.
not-
We have a sponsorship from Achievaboo.
He's not wrong.
For
Yeah.
my P-Chem final, my physical chemistry final, I should have been studying, but instead I went to my friend's dorm room, to his common room, and I started playing Final Fantasy around 6:30 or 7, and I didn't stop until like 9 a.m. when it was time to go in for the P-Chem final, and I passed. I don't want to go over what score it was, but I passed.
That's all that matters.
Yes, and I'm not still in college, so. But yeah, I probably played enough of that.
Well, because of that, we now are raking in the Benjamins with gamer gummies.
Gamer
gummies. One thing or the other. It's not bad.
Do those things ever go on sale?
No, those are worth the price.
Gamer gummies? No, they're way too valuable to go on sale. Say what does go on sale. Whatever the crap Nate has open on it with his tabs.
That was a very nice segue.
Well,
Oh, X,
you
what's
asked.
it called? What's it called?
No, I'm not saying it. Go, Nate. I'm not.
So
Don't say
week,
Sailgway. Damn it.
This week, I'm looking at 2 games. Actually, more than that, but I'm only going to talk about 2. Momongo Pinball Adventures. It is $3, down from $6, so big bucks. 1,000 gamer score and 1617 TA. This is a pinball game, but it's kind of a fun pinball game. Probably going to get some heat for that. You play as a little, I'm going to say a chipmunk. Who cares? Only Elroy. And you basically bat this little chipmunk. Actually, I think it's like a flying squirrel.
Isn't it a Momonga? Right? Isn't that the animal?
It might be.
I thought that's what the Japanese books were.
Not sure. It's a mammal,
I'm so
right?
glad someone got that.
Or a rodent? I don't know. It's a fur ball with 4 legs that runs around, and you
that narrows it down.
You're basically playing pinball with this guy, and it's fun. It's cute. The achievements are not too bad, and they are cheesable. So if you're having trouble playing 500 levels, or you're having trouble getting all the stars, there are solutions on TA for how to cheese it, and it's not going to be skill locked for you. But I recommend it. It's only $3, and it's nice to get away from the shooty and do a little pinball. Little furry pinball. The second game is Gnome's Garden 3. We don't need to talk about this for too long. It's $2 down from $5. It is another 8-floor game, so you know what you're getting into. It's 1,000 gamer score, 1314 TA, and I think these range, they typically go from 8 to 10 hours. So you know what you're getting if you're getting Gnome's Garden.
I'll just add, if you're not a completionist, you can get 500-600 points in about 20-30 minutes, and then the remaining 400 or 500 will take hours to get.
Gotcha.
That's what I did.
What about you, X?
I also have a couple that I'm looking at. I will talk about 4 of them just to recommend to our lovely listeners. The first, come on, you guys know what I'm about to say. The first is ACA Neo Geo Real Doubt Fatal Fury Special. This one is a sub-hour completion for even the most novice of fighting game player. There's a super easy...
He's not wrong. I think I did that one.
Yeah, there's a super easy cheese method. Literally no skill required. I'm pretty sure Jeffy played this one. It's worth 1,043 TA, so... I mean, you know, with a ratio that low, you know what you're getting into. The other one is ACA Neo Geo Samurai Showdown 3, which is a little trickier. It's 1129 TA, but you know how misleading those Neo Geo ratios are.
That mean 1129. That means that's one of the more difficult ones.
Yeah, right. It is a very easy 820 gamer score. The last 2 high score achievements, those are tough, and you can tell just by the amount of gamers unlocked, the completion percentage there. So if you're not a completionist, it's $4 for a very, very easy 820. But if you're going for the full 1,000, this one actually took me 2 or 3 hours, and I'm actually pretty good at the Samurai Showdown series, and I still had a pretty rough time with this one. So, take that for what it's worth. The next one on my recommendation list is The Town of Light. I guess it's a walking simulator. I don't want to say puzzles, but typical walking simulator. You got to know what to do, where to go kind of thing. There's some collectibles, so it's probably worth it to follow a guide just for those. But it is one hell of a story, and it kind of has a twist at the end that you don't really see coming. And it's $6 down from $20, and I would absolutely recommend it. If you really like it, there's a Japanese stack, which is digital only, unfortunately, but I think that was 1080 yen, which was about $20 if I recall, so whatever. My last one is from my buddies over at Artifacts Mundi, My Brother Rabbit. It is... Ribbit.
Oh, wait.
No, I was going to say, do you like turtles? But oh my gosh, that's frogs.
I like turtles.
Woo! Yeah, it's 1055 TA, so it's probably the easiest Artifacts Mundi, but it actually has a very, very good story. It's not like the other ones where, oh my gosh, you have to save the world from the bad guy by cutting glass with a diamond. This one, it's very personal. I won't spoil it for you guys, but, I mean, 2-3 hours with a guide, and that's just if you get stuck. and the guide's not going to spoil the story for you. It'll just help you get through the levels. Absolutely worth it. And apparently L is self-banning himself.
No, I got something.
Self-banning himself?
I got
Oh,
something.
boy.
I just didn't want to have to say it. I don't want to be the one to say it. I don't want to be the one to say North is on sale.
Oh, goodness.
Woohoo! $1.49, I believe.
$1.49 for this glorious,
gosh.
glorious game.
That is
By
still
two.
like $1.48 too much for that game.
We are trying to talk Waka into making this the Game Club Game of the Month, so we can dissect every inch of this glory.
I approve. I take back my previous comment. Yes, it's worth the $1.49.
To hear Waka talk about it and describe it.
Oh my gosh, yes. Everyone at him. Let's get that. There would be game
game.
Club.
Oh,
man.
Is a classic.
That might be the end of Game Club.
Oh man.
Might be the end of Waka on the podcast if we make him do that. Hello, everybody. I'm here to tell you that I'm leaving. That's not Waka's accent, but, you know.
That was terrible.
Oh. Better than my try last week. Well, he has played this game. So
Oh, man.
He definitely... Just want to see him go through a second time and take notes. I want to be the fly on the wall. Okay, first you walk, and then you
I'll
walk
play
some
that
more.
again.
Yeah, you would.
Then you take the drugs.
Well,
I'll play that again, or actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll play that again if that becomes Game Club.
there you go.
That would be interesting.
Is
That's
that a
all.
verbal contract right there?
It's on the podcast, so I suppose it is.
All right. You heard it here, folks.
I will subject myself to that. You know what? I'll stream it.
Whoa!
If you guys can convince Waka to have that be the next Game Club, I will stream it. I will stream it and lose viewers. I wonder if sometimes you ever listens to this and goes, "That's not nice. That's our game. We love that."
We'll all still buy it and play
we do-
it. So
We do absolutely nothing.
If it's a sub-hour completion, we're going to get it.
Oh, boy.
It's like way sub-hour, isn't it? Like 15, 20 minutes?
Oh, no.
No.
No?
It was much more painful than
I
that.
thought
It
it
wasn't
right
long.
at a half hour.
It wasn't long. It was about a half hour, yeah.
All right.
Before the game starts, it even tells you this game is short. It actually
I
tells you
remember
that.
that, actually, yeah.
It
I
actually
mean, it
tells you
felt
that.
like eternity, though. But
Is that,
I guess
is that what Elle says when he goes on a date?
Hey-o.
So
Just wine me and
TA
dine me,
has
baby.
me tracked for playing it for 45 minutes.
You probably read all the letters.
God, no. I
Well,
couldn't.
that one have an achievement
Actually-
right at the end, or did you have to play to beat
I
it?
think you had to finish it.
You got to finish it.
Yeah, what else is
the
there
last
this week?
letter, he got to the end of the story.
Bowl Boy, 70% off, $269. Point and click. Looks like an easy completion. Surprised to see X doesn't have this one. Yes, he does.
Yeah, I was going to
How
say,
is
I
that game?
definitely have that one.
I see it now. Do you remember it?
I do, actually. There was one achievement that gave me a really hard time, so that stands out in my brain.
Oh, boy. I'm sure it's an easy completion.
Yeah, it's not bad.
What else is there? Not much.
If I may.
You may.
ACA Neo Geo Crossed Swords!
Ooh.
Woohoo! It's on sale for $4 like the other ones. It is definitely not at all an easy completion, but I'm probably going to pick it up. It's like an easy 640 or easy 720 in maybe 20-30 minutes, according to our buddy Sangria's, but the completion's going to take you several hours to get good at the game.
Now, is crossing swords a euphemism for something?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm totally buying it.
Just for that?
Absolutely.
All right. Maybe we can cross swords while we play Cross Swords.
Yes. Look at that cover art. They actually crossed swords.
Unfortunately, this is, the point of the show. I tell you, if you're a cheap ass like me, there's new games coming to Game Pass, but we don't have any Game Pass news this week. And even more unfortunately, we have 6 games leaving, which, I mean, we've had so many games coming and way more to come, so I guess we do have to lose a couple. 6 games that we're losing is Dead Island Definitive Edition,
Crap.
Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition.
Crap.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, whoa.
You're going to insult some people there.
How dare you, sir?
What?
Shadow Complex Remastered.
Crap.
Wow. Rocker's screaming on vacation right now.
Oh, man, why couldn't this happen when Corey was here? Zombie Army Trilogy.
Koosh likes that one, right? Crap.
It was a boost.
Next Up Hero.
Amazing.
Quality title, if nothing else.
Wow. Did not see that one coming.
Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Fantastic, and if you say anything, I will end you.
I was just about to this is one of the games I've been wanting to get to,
you said that,
now it's leaving.
You said that when it entered.
Too long.
I remember. You said that when it entered.
Such a good game.
See,
is Mega Man in it?
Was that the one that was ridiculously large for the download? It was like,
yeah, it was
300 gigs or
300
something.
gigs.
Okay, TA's line is saying it's 4.5 gigabytes. That's a lie. I think this was like 68 gigs or something like that.
Are you thinking of Infinite?
That was the big one.
That might be a different Marvel vs. Capcom game.
Yeah, I think that's Infinite, just because it has all the costumes, which are not compressed at all.
That's Infinite.
Oh, okay, cool. So I can still play that game. Awesome.
See?
Yeah, UMVC3 is like one of my favorite fighters of all time.
I haven't played Marvel vs. Capcom since like the Dreamcast, I think. I don't know. It's been an incredibly long time. So I couldn't tell you.
Of course, Redemption is finished Next Up Hero. Of course.
Well, I mean, he's Redemption. He's like played and beaten everything.
That game have co-op?
He's got like 1,800 completed games.
He has a full-time job, too. Like, that's the most baffling part to me.
I don't believe that. He says that. I don't believe him.
Sure.
All right, well, let's get on to our contest corner now. As always, we're going to talk about the BCM, or the Frame Holes Completion Challenge. This week's topic that we're going to go over is, it's not the size of the game, but how easy is the gamer score.
Crossed swords?
Sure. Which is to complete a game that contains an adjective describing size. All right, no one's going to take that one. So little, big, grand, small, tiny, something like that. Nate, what do you got to recommend for us?
I'm going to go with Big Crown Showdown. It's 1,000 gamer score, obviously. 1698 TA. If you go back to level 21 at the 1 hour mark, we actually talk about this game, where we got... who was it? I guess there were 3 of us that got together. We tried to get a 4th, but he fell asleep. So we went through and we tried to get a bunch of the achievements. There were a few that were host only. So you'll want to watch out for those if something's not making sense. I went back to listen to the episode and we did not actually name which ones they were. So no chance that we're going to remember it now. There's one thing that maybe might turn you away from this, and that is there are 2 achievements that require 4 people. There's a pair of them. They're called Friends with Benefits and Internet Friends, and these are to both play with 4 players. The first is to play a local co-op, and the second is to play online. If you don't have 4 friends, I'm sorry. Discord is where it normally is. But if you need to do the local co-op, you need either 4 controllers or 4 actual human beings. And it's not, other than that, it's not too bad. There's a little bit of grind at the end for running a marathon. So you just have to play levels over and over again. And as you're going from the beginning of the level to the end of the level, just focus on, distance. Not so much getting coins or any of that fun stuff. But it's not too bad. And it's kind of fun. If you have multiple people to play with, it could actually be a good time. What about you, L?
You stole big. Big is my adjective. Big L. That's me.
Oh.
So I thought of a game that would be really good for the Better Completions Matter, because it's a very hard completion, and that's called Massive Chalice, which is currently...
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's currently sitting at almost 8,000 TA.
Oh, jeez.
I think because it was games with gold.
I didn't realize it was that much.
It's games with gold. 46,000 people have started it, and only 114 completions. So I guess that means it can be done. So get started, everyone. Sounds like a massive undertaking. What? How about you, X?
I don't actually compete in either of the... Again, compete's not the right word, I guess, but I don't partake in either of them. But I did come up with a few suggestions. So first I have Maximum Football 2018, which is a Madden killer right there, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 2-3 hours, and it's fun.
It's American football?
Very fun. Yes, that is American football. That's a fair question.
So it's just football.
Right, correct.
It's the one with the net, I guess. I don't know. And like the sticks, and you kick the ball and you get it in the hole. I don't know, whatever. It's that one. That one's pretty easy. My next one is My Big Ill Sister, which is a rat game, but you actually have to play it to completion. I actually enjoyed this one, though.
I did too, yeah.
I generally can't recommend Ratalaika games, but I would actually recommend this one. It was interesting enough. Kept my interest. I didn't feel like it was a chore, but that's not for this conversation. And my last one, I don't know if Freem would approve, but any of the King of Fighters titles, because king size is a size.
Mm.
Something to think about. Oh, you got a king size bed. You got a king size candy bar. That describes size. King.
Okay.
And if not, whatever. There's like 8,000 King of Fighters games. They're all really, really easy completions, thanks to our friends at Hamster. So that's what I got.
It's just like a small possum, right?
A hamster?
Mm-hmm.
What? It's just like a little capybara. How's that one?
Oh, goodness.
Kenny, what you got for us?
So, I have 2 games. Neither are very good for the BCM, but if you want to complete something for Frameholes, first up, I know everyone that has played this enjoyed the game. The adventure point and click, The Little Acre.
Oh, that's a good one.
Everyone keeps going for big. I'll go for small. And the other one, as we were just talking, I just thought about this, and I can't believe no one actually brought this up from our friends, the True King, the Burger King, the Big Bumpin'. I have never actually played this game.
Oh,
well, actually,
so
I played it for maybe like 15 minutes way back whenever it was that came out. But everyone loves it, and it's like one of those games I want to go back to and I want to play, but I've just never, forked over the $2 to pick it up at GameStop or wherever.
Oh, so good.
I know Saucy the other week was trying to get me to stream this game, so if I get a copy, maybe I'll complete this, and then I'll add that to my Frameholes completion challenge list. And with that, it takes us to our final segment, Proclamation Point.
I feel like you need an epic intro for this, though, like Proclamation and Point.
I think you just took your thunder, Al.
God,
speechless.
You went Thor on me. Damn.
I want another.
All right, you want to take the reins? You can take the reins. Shit.
All right, am I doing this?
Yeah.
All right. This week, to honor our community completions, Death Dealers has reached a new milestone of 50 completed games. Elroy OMJ, love that guy, has reached a new milestone, 400 completed games. And then Prul X, I'm kidding, I know it's Prue, has reached a new milestone.
You sure?
Well, maybe not. Prowlix.
Something like that.
Pooks. I don't know. Whatever. That guy has reached a new milestone of 450 completed games.
Yay, Prue.
Am I still doing this?
I don't know what's coming up next, so I guess so.
All right, let's do it. For Achievements 1, we have everybody's favorite podcast host, X the Hero, has won 22,750 achievements. That's a lot of bleep bloop, folks.
Jeffy helped him with that.
Jeffy has helped me get a couple multiplayer achievements. But Kelsey has popped a couple of them for me.
Wow.
Don't tell Microsoft. I hear that's against the TOS these days.
Never do that.
Ella Fellet,
just elliptical.
Elliptical 77. I'm sorry. I don't know you, but I love you. You're a good guy. Or girl. Oh my gosh.
It is man.
You are on a 25-day achievement win streak. Dunkos Thank you for having a pronounceable name. Dunkos is on a 75-day achievement win streak. Prulx is currently on a 1,200-day achievement win streak.
Man.
And Keith 271179 is currently on a 2,000-day achievement win streak, which is insane.
That's crazy.
Yep,
A lot of days.
I did 1 year, 365, and letting it disappear on 366 was like the best decision of my life. So kudos to you guys for real.
Take that, Kelsey.
Where are we at? BenL, BenL or BenL? BenL72.
BenL.
Benadryl 72 has reached a new milestone of 200,000 gamer score. And Sasha Morning, who's actually a dude, has reached a new milestone. Right?
You're full of
Get
spoilers
out!
today.
Sasha's a dude?
Ruining
I don't
my
believe you.
Has reached 950,000 gamer score, man.
All right, getting there.
Almost there.
Sasha, I believe, is in the same boat as me, where he plans on retiring at 1 million.
Yep.
I'll believe that when I see it.
In the true achievements realm, our buddy Koosh, he's right here, Koosh Moose, has reached a new milestone of 550,000 TA.
Oh.
And
Apparently,
Skeptic
no idea.
Al,
Hi, Koosh.
very important milestone.
Mhm.
Skeptic Al Mario has reached a new milestone of 600,000 TA. We got some leaderboards here. High Road Vatu is in the top 10 of the Colorado completed games leaderboard for Xbox One. So I guess you could say he's pretty high
Getting up there.
in Colorado.
Yep.
Oh, man, not even a chuckle. All right.
I see what you did there.
Oh, boy. I see what you did there.
Harrod Vatu is also in the top 50 of Colorado Gamer Score, so congrats to you. I'm pretty sure your name is High Road. I'm just being obnoxious now. Toadstyle Venom is now in the top 5,000 of the True Achievement Leaderboard for real time. That's very specific, but congrats. Rocker Dude 5012 is in the top 200 of both Gamer Score and True Achievement for Metroidvania titles, so that's pretty cool.
Woohoo!
Little L over here is in the top 2,000 of Achievements Won.
That's a thing.
That's a thing. Yeah.
All right.
We have,
Hey, actually, you want to sing a duet with me?
yeah, let's do it.
Happy birthday. You're not
to
singing.
You. There's some lag there.
Happy birthday
to
to
you.
We got the
Happy
two broads. I mean, ladies.
birthday,
Oh.
Lady Moxie.
Happy birthday, Kitty Skies.
Birthday to
Ooh.
you.
Wow.
That scotch is kicking in.
But the scotch kicked in a long time ago, my friends.
And Foof's a whore. All right, Lady Moxie and Kitty Skies.
That's uncalled.
That's like 50% of our lady contingents.
That was
Both
almost
have
a
a birthday.
spit take.
Oh,
If you would have waited a
man.
second, that would have been a spit take.
I need some scotch too.
I think what Elle is trying to say is that Lady Moxie and Kitty Skies both have birthdays on June 18th. So happy
Thank you.
birthday to you two. And in one last entry for the proclamation point, upcoming weddings. Do we know anybody?
Any humble people that might tell us about something coming up?
Only the humblest would take it upon himself to tell you that he gets to marry Kelsey, the love of his life, this Saturday, June 22nd. If you don't know who he is,
Please be X.
it's X the Hero!
Congratulations to you, X.
Thank you.
You and Kelsey.
Congratulations.
Is there still spots open?
There are. We had 7 people bail like 4 days after payment was due. So, hit me up. We got some food and some seats.
Just send me a doggy bag to New York, and I'll make sure it gets to a proper place.
All right.
It'll go to a good home. Thank you.
Oh, if you're passing out food, send some to Maryland.
Maryland's not that
We're
far.
closer.
Come on up.
Yeah. Senator Foof and I, we'll split the bill.
All right. I'm going to give a community shout out. As we were recording, little Miss Matrarch got her full combo on the random to-do list.
Combo!
So that, I believe, is the 3rd person this month. That might be a first.
Sounds about right.
That's crazy.
Along with High Road and Kingsman. NBA Kirkland and Fresh both have 23 in second and third place. They're both probably going to get it as well. Crazy month. Good job to all of you.
How long did it take High Road to get his full completion? Or full combo, I'm sorry.
He got his, I don't know, 5 days ago maybe? He knocked out the first 22, and then he didn't have a game on hand for one of them, so he had to order the game, and that's what took him so long. Yeah. He bought a physical game in the
Smart.
in the mail.
Yeah.
Smart.
I know. No, it's not smart.
This is. Physical is better than
It
digital.
was like
Get out.
Tiger Woods or something. But
And that actually puts Michelle at the top of the list.
yeah, good job, Michelle, who actually was the person that suggested the team ideas to begin with, taking it a step further from Chin's initial idea of podcast versus podcast. So kudos to Michelle. Kudos to everyone this month. And we're going to have to make X join next month. Give him a list.
Yeah, give me a list when I won't be in the country. When I won't be in the continent for...
You'll still beat
10
half the
days.
people. I'm
Oh,
sure.
it's only 10 days. You can still do it.
Yeah, not like I got anything going on the other 20.
Does Iceland have internet?
Iceland does have internet.
Well, then there's
That's
no
what it's
excuses.
called. Land of Ice.
She knew what she was getting
It's a
into.
compound word. Like compound. Wait a minute.
Are you trying to go grammar over there?
I would never.
Okay.
I hate grammar.
Him?
Hate grammar
Be a
Nazis.
grammar Nazi?
Hate
Yeah,
that.
right.
Hate it. Hated it.
Never. All right, guys. Well, that ends it for us. If you like this show, please like and review us on your platform of choice. And also be sure to smash that subscribe button. If you would like to send us a Twitter tweet, you can send us one on the Twitter at Achievements101. Be sure to check out the Mixer. I'm streaming every Saturday at 10 Eastern. You can convert that to your whatever your pathetic time zone is.
Sheesh.
Mixer.com/AH101. And most importantly, join the Discord. Discord is discord.io/AH101. X, thanks for joining us. It was great having you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. That was fun. That was, easily the best proclamation point ever.
He may be a bit biased, but
Nope, not at all.
do you have anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Oh man, am I allowed? You should probably subscribe to my band, Window of Opportunity, on YouTube. And in our Discord, there's a contest going on. I can give you a free $10. Maybe.
Wait, how much is $10
Ooh.
cost? Free?
What?
What?
He said it's a
I have no idea what you're trying to say.
I don't know.
All right, guys. Well, with that, class dismissed. Talk to you next week.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
3, 2, 1. Continue.
Hello, everyone. This is Matrarch, otherwise known as Michelle, here with a review for the Achievement Hunting 101 podcast. The game I'll be diving into today is Hexologic. Developed by Mythic Owl and originally launched onto iOS, Android, and Steam in May of last year, Hexologic has been working its way onto consoles as well, starting with the Switch and now landing on the Xbox One with a June 14th release date. Hexologic is available for $4.99 and has 11 achievements worth 1,000 gamer score, but I'll get into more detail about that part of things later. When Hexologic was first brought to my attention, I immediately jumped at the opportunity to review it. I'm a fan of Hexic and I love puzzlers, which Hexologic absolutely is. I was taken aback a little to find that Hexologic isn't a puzzler in the match 3 sense. See, the game's name is Hexologic, so it's a puzzler in the logic puzzle sense. If you're considering the game, it's less like Hexic than it is something like, say, Sudoku. It's a game of numbers, but not a very complicated one, and it's easy to jump right in. The puzzles in Hexologic are presented as groupings of hexes, some of which have a number affixed to the end of a row, column, or diagonal line. Your job is to fill these hexes with the appropriate amount of dots to total the number at the end of the connected line. Hexes can only be filled in with a 1, 2, or 3, which means that solving the puzzle never really gets overly difficult. So here's an example of a puzzle you may face. You'll have 3 connected hexes with a number 3 at the end of the row. To solve the puzzle, you need to put 1 dot in all 3 hexes to total the number at the end of the row. Or, for another example, you may have a column of 2 hexes with a 6 at the top. Put 2 3s in, and that column will be solved. Of course, puzzles will rarely only contain one row, column, or diagonal line, but the game helpfully indicates when a line contains the right number of dots by highlighting that line in green. This is useful for the bigger boards when it can be a little hard to keep track of the math. Not that the math is ever really that demanding, don't get me wrong. I don't recall seeing any numbers in the ends of the lines that were higher than the 30s. Once all the numbers along the edges of the grid are green, the puzzle is solved, and you can move on to the next level. Speaking of levels, Hexologic contains 90 basic levels and 21 special levels spread across 6 worlds. Mostly, as the final 3 special levels are a world unto themselves, so this means each world gets 15 basic levels and 3 special levels. Each block of levels introduces a new wrench into the gameplay. For example, you'll see in one world that 2 or 3 of the hexes will be outlined in different colors. This indicates that anything you put in one of those special hexes will also appear in any of the other hexes outlined in the same color. Hexologic does a good job of introducing new concepts when they arise by offering 1 or 2 very simple puzzles. And occasionally, it does take advantage of multiple concepts in a single puzzle's design. Once again, though, it never does it in a way that's overwhelming, so don't worry about the puzzles getting too complicated. And speaking of lack of complication, that's really great news for the achievement hunter. So let's go and take a look at that list now. As I mentioned before, Hexologic has 11 achievements worth 1,000 gamerscore. 7 of the achievements are attached to finishing all of the 21 special levels, so 1 achievement for every 3 special levels completed. 1 achievement is for finishing 90 basic levels, so the 15 levels that are available in each world, all the way through, and another is for finishing those 90 basic levels and the 21 special levels. The final 2 achievements in the game are just like the previous 2 I spoke about, the one for 90 levels and the one for 90 levels plus 21 special, but these would be for completing those levels in the game's hard mode. Don't panic about this, though. Hard mode isn't really all that tough, and the achievements in the game actually do stack. So if you want the achievements as quickly as possible, you're going to make sure to select the hard difficulty, which you can do at any point on the level select screen. The fact that the achievements stack is already great news, but the other piece that achievement hunters will love to hear is that the levels are static, and since the game has already been out over a year on other platforms, detailed solution videos are already available on the internet. If your goal in buying games is to get that quick 1K, well, Hexologic is all set up for you to do so. With a guide, the whole experience will probably take a little over an hour, so long as you remember to play in the hardest difficulty first. Before I wrap up this review, however, let me just encourage you that if you, yourself, like logic puzzles, or if you have someone else in your house who likes them, go ahead and give this game a legitimate try without videos. I did my run-through for this review guide-free and actually really enjoyed working out the puzzles on my own and figuring out how newly introduced mechanics affected the hex grid. If you get tired at any point, you can always switch to the guide, but with only 111 puzzles total, and with most of them taking only a minute or 2 to solve, Hexologic isn't really pressing on your time. With all of this said, what's the final verdict on Hexologic? If you're here for the achievements, I'd recommend this game without hesitation. The easy list, the accessible puzzles, and the low price tag make it well worth the investment. If you're not in it for the achievements, the game still hits the right notes if you're looking for a solid logic-based puzzler based around numbers. But I'd recommend possibly checking it out on something like Android or iOS, where you can not only play it on the go, but you can scoop it up at a slightly cheaper price point, as it's usually on the Google Play Store for $1.99. And with all that said, that wraps up this review. If you have any thoughts that you'd like to share in this review, or any other thing we cover on Achievement Hunting 101, come join the discussion at discord.io/TAH101. Take care, everybody.
Perfect.
VSS. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for a very sequential segment with everybody's favorite educators, X the Hero and Elroy OMJ. Love that guy.
Hear ye, hear ye. In the days that follow, X the Hero will be joined in holy matrimony to a young lady who thinks that bald men whose bands have like 40 subscribers and who play way too many video games in glow-in-the-dark T-Rex shirts are quite the catch. We are proud of the countless hours he has put into convincing her to hitch her wagon to his, and here at VSS, it's the least we can do to honor his accomplishment by discussing our top 3 marriage-related chivos. But first, some pleasantries. I am joined today by an individual that undoubtedly has what it takes to shine in marriage. After all, he ranks 35th in fighting games in the world. He is groomed to be Exe the Hero.
Am I that high? Last time I checked, I was like almost top 50, so that's pretty cool. I'd also like to add that we don't use the B word here. We much prefer follically challenged.
Fair enough. Well, speaking of which, I had a revelation the other day. I'd like to share it with you in person. So I've been on quite a ACA bender lately, and in doing so, something came to me. I was like, oh my goodness. So you know how they say people look like their dogs, and they start looking like their dogs and such. And so I had this revelation that Chivo hunters start looking like their Chivos. So I thought, well, you rank 35th in fighting games, and so I'm sure you've played more than your share of ACA games, and I think you've probably played a few of the Art of Fighting games, and I'm started thinking, you know what? When I fired up Art of Fighting 2, and I went to the cheese method, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm using Exe as my character. You look kind of like Mr. Big on there. So all you need to do is get some sunglasses and get some sticks and start lighting the ground on fire. Blaster, blaster, blaster. And, poor Mickey keeps running into it and dies. And I think if you had a Halloween costume, that would be good. Get like a little pimp jacket, put on some shades and get some sticks.
Isn't Mr. Big like really fat though?
No, he's kind of tall, but no, he's not fat.
All right, I'm thinking of somebody else then.
Yeah, look him up. But Mr. Big's also the guy that sings "I Just Wanna Be With You." But I think that was Mr. Big. But anyway,
Blaster. No, I do remember Blaster.
Blaster. Yeah, that was you, man. It looks just like you.
All right. I guess that's a compliment.
Yeah, I think it is. So he made it work. And anyway, so are you ready to jump into these, not just into the VSS, but you getting ready to get married? And this list is all about you, man. This is a very self-involved segment today.
Yeah, I guess it is. But it was your idea, just so the listeners are aware.
That's true. It seems like every segment I come up with now is a self-involved segment for Exe.
Right?
Okay. Maybe I just secretly want to spend more time with you or something. Oh, yeah. Well, I think I'll just jump right in with my honorable mention, if that's all right with you.
Honorable mention.
All right, so for my first choice, there are several of these that are kind of similar. Now, there's a couple of Chivos out there that are called good teammates, and those can be getting in NHL 2K9 and NBA 2K9. There's something like good teammate ratings, but this is not good enough. This isn't good enough. That's you anyway.
Yeah.
You're good enough, but that good is not good enough. So we're looking for great here. But there's another Chivo out there that's called My Teammate Is My Boss. That's from SBK11. And while that may or may not be true, it's the one that I did not pick. So, and then also there's a whole slew of true teammates, Chivos from the assortment of NHL games out there, NHL, 2000 through whatever. And then one called Ultimate Teammates from NBA 2K whatever, which might have worked except for it's NBA 2K whatever, and it can go to hell because it's NBA 2K whatever. And also I know that the only thing ultimate and true about those is that I didn't pick them because I know better than to talk sports ball with the likes of you. So
ouch. The way, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but the way he said that, the likes of you.
Yeah, So I went with best teammate. Oh, that's so much better. Best teammate.
Oh.
And that comes to us from Bros of War 4. You get it for earning 1,000 spotting or damage assists in versus public only. And also, there's I guess, did you watch E3's presentation?
I did.
It was kind of a big one for Bros of War, man. They announced like Bros of War 5, 6, 7, 7.5. Bros in War, mobile, Bros of War, everything. They're all coming to Game Pass at launch, apparently. Yeah, big E3 for them. And apparently there's a locust nest under the stage. Now, so I chose it. It was all about the Bros of War and Game Pass. Now, I chose this one because I think it best describes my own marriage. And the Chivo is from a game that I've kind of played. So I've never actually played Gears of War. Gears of War.
I like that.
Gears of War. But, who are we kidding here, right? The formula is always the same. So and I've played all the other ones. So I assume I know the storyline. You're presumably working together with other Gears, and you traverse a barren landscape, and the odds are stacked against you, and then you shoot anything that moves, and there you have it. You've played the entire series. Yep. Yeah. And so when you're playing this game, if you are as terrible at it as I am, you get gunned down, and then you crawl around for a while until your teammate can get over to you and save your arse. For me, that usually is my nephew, because we play these on holidays where I don't have to spend time with the family. Now, sometimes there are some obstacles that take 2 people to get through, like that big old creaky door. It's amazing. They haul these massive guns all over the landscape. They can't be light, right? I mean, those are heavy chainsaw guns, but yet someone can't open a creaky door by themselves. I don't know. I'm just saying.
We're not even talking. They have a chainsaw gun. They can just cut that creaky door.
You would think. They've got grenades. They got all kinds of things.
There are many options that you can do with one person.
You are not kidding. But it takes 2 of you. You got to wait until your partner gets over there and open that creaky door so you can both get through. And some other times there's something that's just terrifying, like that freaking berserker that, when you first encounter the berserker, you're glad to have someone there to help. And that was true for us. My nephew and I, we encountered that berserker on the train at the end of Gears 1, I think it was. That thing must have killed us at least 20 times. And finally my nephew's like, this is stupid. And he looked it up on YouTube, how to beat the berserker. And he was the real MVP that day. But anyhow, marriage is very similar, X. See, Kels and I, and for those of you who don't know, Kelly, that's my wonderful wife.
Kelly.
Yep. And Kels, or I just say Kels affectionately. So Kels and I, we are teammates, and we look out for one another and have each other's back no matter what. And so for me, it came, this fact of life came to me at an earlier age. We weren't even engaged at this point, but it was during my college years. I went to college up in Iowa, and so we decided to take a road trip to Chicago, like in January, to go see the Lions at Tsavo at some museum up there. Great idea. And so I've never been known to really plan ahead terribly so. And so I didn't check the weather. And the weather was terrible, as it always was in January in Iowa. And so I'm just speeding along on this road, and all of a sudden I get my first encounter with something called black ice.
Uh-oh.
I was just a Texas boy. I didn't know a dang thing about black ice. I never encountered black ice. I never even heard of black ice. At this point in my life, I hadn't even built a snowman. And so I get on this black ice, and whoop! Oh, my truck goes flying off the road. Well, there just happened to be a cop in the middle median, and my truck goes slamming into this cop car. And fortunately, the cop was out somewhere else, so it just smashed into his unmanned car and totaled his car. And so, obviously that got his attention. He came over. He was not too happy about it. My truck was inoperable. His car was inoperable. And so he wrote me every ticket he could think of. And I remember thinking, man, this is so my fault, and I felt terrible about it. And so I'm getting all these tickets, and then all of a sudden, Kelly just jumps in there like a freaking badger, just tears into this cop about, well, why the hell are you parking in the middle with your lights shining in oncoming traffic? He was blinded by your lights, and if you're gonna park there, blah blah blah, and all this and that. And she just tore into him, and I just looked at her like, my goodness, this is a woman that's going to have my back. As I was in the wrong. I was in the wrong here. But that's what, best teammates do. No matter what happens, we get back to wherever we're going, and later on after the moment, and she could have said, that was really stupid of you. But at the time, she had my back, and she laid into that guy, and I thought, well, she is definitely a keeper. And so here we are 20-something years later, and we're still going strong. So anyhow, so best teammates, that is my honorable mention.
Very nice. Your story reminded me of the physics professor who got a ticket for running a red light, but then he came up with some crazy theory and conjecture to explain why he didn't run the red light using physics, and I think they let him go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What is did you get all the tickets, or did the cops scrap them?
Oh, no, I still got the tickets.
Oh, she tried.
She did her best, and she got herself an amazing husband out of the deal. He fell in love with her at that moment, seeing the fire and brimstone spitting out of her mouth, and she earned a lot of my respect that day. That was awesome.
All right,
yeah,
all right. Well, my number 3 is going to take a slightly different approach. Do you want to introduce?
Number 3
comes to us from the Stress Mode achievement from Cook, Serve, Delicious 2. Because apparently there's a first one, but I think it's a myth, just like Good Drivers from New Jersey. I don't think it's real. So, you earn the Stress Mode achievement for playing a day of Stress Mode, whatever that means. I don't know, because I haven't played the game. But, sounds pretty fitting. So, why is Stress Mode appropriate for a segment about weddings? I'm sure everybody listening who had any kind of ceremony already knows where I'm going with this one. But, I mean, why? No, let's take a look into why. There's a lot of things that you got to consider before a wedding. So, I'm just going to add to that slight sidebar here. When I asked Kelsey to marry me, I didn't really think of any of these things. I was like, yay, here's this exciting thing that we did. And then, oh God, there's so many things that we have to do now. Yeah, I probably could have timed it better so as not have to...
But you helped out, right? I mean, you helped with all this, right?
I mean, I'd like to say it was 50-50, but it was 75... Nah, it was 70-30.
Man, that's one thing I wish I could go back and change is I wish I could have helped out more. I mean, I was always there, when we do all this, pick this out, pick that out. I went with her, but my input didn't really matter at that point. I mean, it's... In my experience, it's more about the lady folk, their weddings. So
yeah, that's sort of where we're at. She asked my opinion, and I've managed to persuade a couple things my way, but for the most part, we had the same vision anyway. So
the one thing I added to my wedding that was all me was a giant ice sculpture of a rhinoceros head. That was the one thing that I brought to the table for my wedding because Kelly really loves rhinos. My house is covered with rhinos. I think I've told you
we have discussed this, yeah.
Yeah. And so it was even back then, 20 years ago, we were still into rhinos. And so I thought, well, I want something unique at my wedding. So I think it was $100 I spent on the guy to chainsaw some ice. And
that's awesome.
And he made that thing looked awesome. I'll have to dig up a picture of it and put it in the Discord. But yeah, that was the one thing I added was a giant rhino head made out of ice.
That's actually funny because probably my biggest contribution is our wedding cake topper, which is 2 pandas.
Well, there you go, man. See, you helped out.
Yep, one little panda wearing a top hat and a bow tie, and one little panda with a big old veil on.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's really cool. I like that.
So. Anyway, before we get into the wedding planning stress stuff, I would just like to remind everyone that Kelsey and myself, we are both teachers, which means we already have an unnecessarily high level of stress from our jobs. Elroy gets it. People who know teachers get it. People who don't know teachers will never get it. And that's fine. I've accepted that my non-teacher friends will never get it. But there's already a lot of stress, and then we had wedding planning stress, and so... Especially when you combine the end of the school year levels of stress and then, a month before the wedding levels of stress, it's been a rough couple of weeks, so.
Yeah, I was a little surprised you went so soon after the end of the school year. Is there any reason why y'all chose not to go to July or so?
Have you ever been in Pennsylvania in July?
No.
I imagine it's about Tennessee in May.
Oh, okay.
And we just didn't want to be standing outside in July. Yeah, it is outdoors.
Oh, okay.
The ceremony is, the reception's indoors, but
Gotcha.
it was a lot of the heat was a concern. We have a lot of elderly relatives. And also we just kind of wanted to get it out of the way as soon as we could. So late June seemed pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I guess also the flip side is that once you get it out of the way, then you can kind of settle in, get back, kind of get your lives together after post wedding, and then in time for the school year to start.
Yep.
Yeah.
'Twas the plan. We still get a summer really this way.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Good idea.
Anyway, so those of you unfamiliar, why is wedding planning stressful? First, you gotta find the venue. They're fun to go look at and explore, yeah, but you gotta consider price, distance, services they provide. For us in particular, our families reside in different parts of the state. Kelsey's family's from southeast PA, and my whole family's from northeast PA. So we had to find somewhere roughly halfway so as not to agitate anybody, which is easier said than done because halfway through is a very wealthy area, but we made it happen. After that, you got to find the vendors. You have your baker, your DJ, photographer, videographer, catering, hair and makeup for the women, dress and tuxedo and linens, and I didn't even know linens was a thing. Your officiant, florists, and I'm probably missing some others, hotel blocks. You just got to find the time to meet with everybody. It's crazy. And then you got to pick it out. And that's tough too, because like everybody's really good at what they do. There's no such thing as a bad wedding vendor. You just got to figure out who's right for you. And then you got to think like, oh, what makes us what? Like you got to do reflection. And that's just stressful because you're focusing on the now and you don't have time to reflect. And but you get there, you make it happen. And then once you finally get all those things figured out, then you got to figure out who's going to be in the wedding party, and then you got to get everybody coordinated. Then there's invitations and creating a wedding website and a registry and centerpieces and thank you cards and a guest book and wedding favors and seating arrangements, and I could probably go on all day here. But my point is that wedding planning, it's a lot of freaking work.
Yeah.
Now I totally get why people just go to the courthouse, and I do, and avoid all of this.
Yeah.
I get it.
Kelly had like a big old binder and it was just full of notes and everything. I mean, it was just, I was impressed. She's very organized. She's very type A. I know this has come a shock to you, but I'm more of a type B kind of guy. And yeah, it's amazing, right? This revelation, boom, mind blown. But the thing I remember hating the most about the actual day, it had nothing to do with the planning, but actually the wedding day. And I'm gonna make you nice and self-conscious before you head into it. So, once the ceremony's over and you go to the back and everyone's exiting out, I hated having all these people come out and then you don't know if you're supposed to give them a hug or not. And so you don't know, do you go for the handshake? Do you give a hug? Especially like for guys, like when at my wedding, for me, it was like, friends and stuff like that and family of Kelly's. And so I didn't know, was I supposed to go for a hug? Was I supposed to just go with the handshake? I didn't want to seem kind of, starchy with my hand out. Like, I'm not going to hug anybody. I didn't want to seem like a cactus standing there, but, there you go. So have fun sorting that out in your brain on the fly as people file out of your wedding. And they usually, a good method would be, I guess, probably to put Kelsey before you so you see what she does first and then you just follow her lead kind of a thing. But if you're just really feeling excited, go first and have that stress in your life.
I feel like I can just do the bro hug where you shake their hand and then you pull them in.
Oh yeah, and then you hit them on the back.
Yeah,
it's like I'm shaking your hand, but I'm hitting you. Yeah. I'm hugging you, but I'm hitting you. Yeah, for sure.
A little bit of love with a little bit of domestic violence thrown in,
Awesome.
Just
all
like
right.
Kentucky.
Well, with that in mind, number two. All right, so this is the part where I make everyone mad. All right, so I assume everyone has told you that marriage is hard and it's a lot of work and all those other sentiments. Have people been berating you with that yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, usually that's something basically that us married folks, it's like some condescending crap we tell engaged people to make ourselves feel better about ourselves. Like, yeah, we're really doing it here. Yeah. So in my experience, marriage is easy. So there you go. There's the dirty little secret. It's easy. I would sit here and I would brag about how awesome my life is and how awesome my marriage is, but we don't have that kind of time here. So I did, however, look up the most common things that married folks argue about. And what I found were dotted across several lists. There's a lot of stuff out there, but basically it came down to 5 things. It was money, sex, work, children, and housework. All right. So now, X, listen closely here.
Okay.
All right. I can solve all these issues for you with my marriage pick.
All right.
All right.
Let's have
this Chivo is going to help you. All right. This is for any newlyweds out here or newlyweds to be. Here we go. It comes to us from a game called Think of the Children. And it's called Please Don't Have Kids. All right. That is the name of this Chivo. It's my new favorite Chivo. So I had never even heard of this game. It's called Think of the Children. Have you heard of this one yet?
I haven't either, actually. I was wondering if it was on Xbox, and then you said it had an achievement, so...
Yes, it's called Think of the Children. So they have a nice website. I wish I could... I should have left that pulled up what the website is. It's probably thinkofthechildren.com or something. I don't know, but just Google Think of the Children, and you'll find it. It's pretty funny. But I found a description of the game right there. And so here's what the description is. It says, ready, set, parent. And it says, little Bobby's dead. The barbecue's on fire. Jen's eating poisonous berries. And the birthday cake still needs icing. It's just another wonderful day out with the kids. Ready, set, parent. Think of the Children as a frantic co-op parenting simulator for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Complete the task. Keep the kids happy and alive, parentheses, if you can.
Oh my God.
So it's a $13 game, or $12.99, what a discount. And it came out last fall, and it's not easy.
Wait, this is a recent?
Yeah, it came out last fall. I had never even heard of this game.
I was just picturing like a really obscure, like 2006...
No.
Like arcade Xbox Live arcade title.
No,
what the heck?
Yeah, this game was definitely under the radar. It came out last fall, and it's the developer. I forget what the name of it is, but it's the only game they got, and it's not an easy game. That's probably why I never heard of it. But it's 3,350 TA, and I had to see this game. So I looked up some YouTube videos of it, and it kind of looks like Overcooked, but instead of like making meals and, running over here, grabbing buns, running over here, grabbing meat and all that stuff, instead you're like stopping kids from killing themselves while you do chores. It's awesome.
Like you see, like fantastic.
Yeah, you see like these little death symbols over their heads, like, oh, well, you better go stop them because they're about to kill themselves. And so I watched that YouTube video, and man, I just was watching it, and it was like stressing me out just watching it. And I was just like, God, there's no way I would play this game. So that brings us back to who needs this stress. So you argue about money a lot? Well, guess what? You will have much more money if you don't have kids. Sex? You like that, right? Yeah, sex is good. Well, you got it. You get a lot more of that if you don't have kids. Work. You work all day and then you come home. Who wants to work some more? No thanks. No kids. Housework. Your house won't look like a crap hole if you don't have a bunch of dirty children making messes everywhere. Sidebar, your car will look nice too. That's right, all your potential marital problems solved by eliminating children from the mix. The world has plenty of people anyway, so no need to make more. Enjoy a happy life and then just give it all away to charity at the end. Your kids would probably squander it anyway, your grandkids definitely would, and your great-grandkids won't even know who you are. So X, for your own sake, please don't have kids.
I feel like you just captured more of me laughing in the past 6 minutes than my entire career on this podcast.
Oh man, you gotta look up this game.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing as soon as we're done recording.
And then I tell you what the secret is: have Kelsey play it, right? And then hey, she's like, "Screw this! No." But I have a happy kid-free life, and yeah, God bless America.
God bless America. I'm just going to throw out there that both of our parents are like expecting grandchildren rather, to just magically appear. Like, we get married Saturday,
God, yeah.
bam, now we have grandchildren on Sunday.
Oh man, let me tell you, I've ran the gauntlet. I got married young. I was 20. Well, Kelly was younger than me. She was 22. I was 24. We got married, somewhat young, and the ship. I think everyone's finally, that pressure for so many years, and I think finally it's over because Kelly finally hit 40, and so. It's like, they're like, I guess at this point we can't, pressure them to have kids anymore because it would be harmful to her health because, all that stuff. So, we're scot-free, man. There's no pressure anymore.
So it's just
everyone's giving up on us. Everyone's giving up on us. Yeah. Also, think if you're a teacher, I think probably the number of teachers that don't have kids is probably higher than those who don't. But I could be wrong on that. I don't know.
Yeah, my students will always ask, like, are you having kids and you're married? I'm like, nope, I see what you guys turn into.
Yeah. Yep.
I get this. I get this for 7 hours a day. I don't need it for 24.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
All right. Well, damn, that should have been number one. So,
number one
comes to us from the married with an exclamation point. So you pretty much have to yell it. So, married achievement. My time at Porsche. And honestly, my time at Porsche, I think, sounds like a game about getting an STD from a stripper. But
it really does.
It really does, right?
Yeah, where's this Porsche, this shady area called Porsche?
Right?
I don't know.
It might as well be
or maybe who is Porsche?
Might as well be my time at Mercedes or something. But apparently it's a Harvest Moon clone.
Okay.
And
never played it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my version would be more fun. It's you got the mad rush to the clinic at 3 a.m. after getting chlamydia from Porsche. I don't know, whatever.
Right.
Family show, so we're gonna stop there. But anyway, Harvest Moon games are super popular, so I'm not going to knock them, though they certainly are not for me. Needless to say, I've not played this game. So anyway, the married achievement is for just getting married, obviously. Is anybody surprised by that? But it's the way the game handles how you get married that made me choose it for number one. I was looking for other achievements, other games where you get married, and I was like, oh, Skyrim. I've played that, 8,000 times on my 360, my One, my laptop, my phone, my smart fridge, my Alexa freaking has it. Oh, hi, Alexa, please stop listening. Oh, man. Jeff Bezos, I love you, buddy. All right, so anyway, Skyrim, though, it's not quite accurate because you just put on a pretty necklace and then you can propose to a total stranger with 100% success as long as you own a house. But that's not really how things work in the real world, at least not in Pennsylvania. Do you guys put on necklaces and trade goats and stuff for marriage in Tennessee?
So is the necklace on the goat or on the person?
I don't think it matters really.
Yeah.
Why not just put it on both?
Yeah, just eliminate the middleman, right?
Yeah.
Efficiency.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they do in Ireland, but with sheep, so...
Huh.
All right, so anyway, why is this game's version of marriage perfect for what I needed for this segment? Because it plays out just like real life. Whether intentionally ironic or not, I'll let you guys figure that out for yourself. So to start, you have to figure out who you want your intended spouse to be. There are lots of lovely ladies in town, and you have to figure out who you think is the cutest one, and, that's who I'm going to make my wife. That's how real life works, basically. You just flock towards the cuties. You're like, that is the cutest one. That is the one I want. And then you do everything in your power to get her. Once you have figured out who your intended spouse is, you got to figure out what your intended spouse likes. And you can do that in two ways. You can either talk with them, in-game, of course, talk with them, and through conversation, figure out what their interests are. Or you can just resort to the My Time at Porsche wiki page for all the answers for all the girls. Which is just like in real life, because you can figure out somebody's interests by chatting with them and getting to know them, or you can just stalk the crap out of them online and find their interests.
It sounds kind of stalky.
Right? So, that I assume in the game that's easier, because why would you want to waste time talking with the person that you're, trying to woo? So that's unnecessary conversation, but you can do that in real life too. You just get right to the good stuff, just like stalk their old MySpace and, figure out what they're into. So you walk up and they're like, hey, girl that I just met, I got you this pink and purple glitter unicorn that you have never mentioned in conversation and that you only shared with 3 high school friends back, in 10th grade. But I know this is your favorite thing ever because I listened to you. Give it a shot and let me know how that goes. But apparently it works just fine in this game.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. And the best part is that there's no diminishing returns on repeat gifts. So, hey, babe, you like Butterfinger bars? Well, I'm going to give you one a day every day until we get engaged. Love you.
No, that kind of actually does work. I mean, you should see my house is full of rhinos. Did I mention that?
A couple times, actually. This is weird. I feel like as our podcast approaches 1 year, all our conversation topics are sort of coming back.
Yeah.
So, anyway, you give gifts, and then you build affection, right? So next in the game is the ability to start dating once you have reached a certain affection level. That's how real life works. In the game, you start dating by giving them a heart knot, which you buy at a flower shop. Now, we all know, gentlemen, in real life, things are not real until you buy her flowers. That's the point when things become serious. You can give all the gifts in the world, meaningless. But flowers, man, that's when people know, like, oh, God, does he like me? I thought he was just being really nice. Oh, God, he got me flowers. That's... Yeah, Butterfingers and stuffed animals are one thing, but the only way to signify romantic interest is flowers. That's it. No other way to express it. Done deal. Right there. Done.
All right.
And last up is a proposal. And you can only propose in this game under 2 conditions. The first condition is that you need an upgraded house, which that's fair. Because, if you figure in real life, if you're living in your small studio apartment, or worse, you're living at home, you are not ready for marriage. You're just not. Get a place, and then think about it. You need somewhere that's capable of supporting bodies, preferably 2 living ones, right? If you don't have that, you shouldn't get married.
I agree, yeah.
I'm not going to mention names, but we know someone, a couple actually, that happily live with the bride's mother. And they don't pay rent, and they don't have jobs, and they're married, and they drive a Camaro, sorry, and the bride's mother just pays for them like they're dependents, and they're like 30-year-old adults. Like, come on, man.
Wow. Yeah, that seems to maybe teach some bad habits, maybe?
Just a few,
wrong
right?
Message?
Yeah. So that's not good. That's not how things work. Anyway, the second requirement in the game to propose is that you need to buy the wedding ring. But it's a little different how it works in the game because you can only buy a wedding ring from a rare traveling vendor called the Mysterious Man. So, even though that's not quite how it works...
Wait, I want to know more about this mysterious man.
I mean,
what is he? Does he just travel the countrysides, peddling jewelry? Or does he have a side hustle? Or that is the side hustle? Who is this? And is the mysterious man, is he actually Mr. Big from,
Blaster!
ACA?
Blaster!
He sells, yeah. You got anything besides jewelry? I got these blasters.
So you can only buy wedding rings from the Mysterious Man. Not quite how it works in real life, but it's also kind of how it works in real life if you think about it. There's a lot in common there. Wedding rings are available literally everywhere, but the right ring, that's rare. You should only be able to get it from one place. You can't just waltz into the first jewelry store you find and buy a random ring. It has to be perfect. It has to be the one. You just know. I mean, it might as well be so rare that you have to get it from the rare traveling Mysterious Man. That's how perfect and rare this ring has to be, right? You'll know the perfect ring when you see it because you stalked her MySpace, back when you were trying to woo her, and you saw pictures of rings that she tried on when she was 11 or 12, and you're like, yes, that is the one. She loved it then, she loves it now. That's how things work.
Yeah, she wants a candy ring.
Right, yeah, exactly. A big old ring pop. I have one last tie-in for this achievement. Married! It's worth 30 gamer score, but 91 TA. To people not on True Achievements, that's only ever going to be worth 30 gamer score. But to the select few that are familiar with True Achievements, that 91 is what it's all about. So, what's the tie-in here? Just like in real life, most people, when they see you get married, will only see your happiness go up by 30 points. But a select few who know the inner details will see your happiness go up 91 points. Aww.
You really tied it together. I wish I could have focused more. I kept thinking about Mr. Big and like how, like he wears like this big puffy jacket, and like if he opened up the jacket, there'd be all this jewelry in there. Like I think that's what he does. I mean, I think I've solved this. I think I've cracked this wide open.
Blaster.
I guess it's been so long since we've done a VSS. I'm not even sure I remember how to end these things. Let's see. Don't you like plug everything?
Yeah,
or something?
You guys know where to find us. We're on TA and Twitter and Xbox and Window of Opportunity. You should subscribe to me on YouTube. There's actually a contest going on in the podcast. You could win yourself free $10 just for subscribing to my channel. That would be pretty cool of you. Man, by the time you guys hear this, I might be married.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you the best, man. Good luck with this, and good luck with all those hugs at the end.
Thanks. Now he'll be like, do you take Kelsey to be your bride? Huh? Hug? Yes. Handshake? Yes, I will. Hug. I do. Ah! You've ruined me.
Yeah, we'll check back in and see how that goes for you.
Sounds like a plan. Before we go, top 3 ACA Neo Geo quotes. Number 3, Blaster. Number 2, Blaster. Number 1, Blaster. Of course, coming from Art of Fighting 1, 2, and 3.
There you go.
Blaster.
Well, here's the top 3 random things that I see across the room. Number 3, Jay Novacek mug called Jay's Jug. Number 2, Darth Maul mask wearing a Shredder mask. And number 1, a robotic maggot. And let the countdown to our next segment begin
now. Blaster!
Final round.
I know you're listening, Colonel, so hear this. This war is over. Dubai will be evacuated, and you will be relieved of your command.
Hello, and welcome to the Achievement Hunting 101's Game Club. This is week 3 of our Spec Ops The Line discussion. I'm Wakapeil, and with me I have
Dinobull, what's up?
And BenL72, hi.
Last week, Delta Team had a bad day on the job. They had just killed a large quantity of civilians with white phosphorus and walked through what remained of their burning bodies. The final thing that we heard was Conrad making contact with Walker, Conrad being the leader of the 33rd Battalion. After a brief discussion between Conrad and Walker, the team jumps out of a building and they see 2 people strung up, and Conrad asks you to kill one of them. One of them is a thief and the other is someone who killed the thief's family, and you're asked which one to kill. You can either kill the thief, the killer, or you can choose to disobey the order from Conrad.
Is it possible to live when you disobey? Because I tried disobeying twice and got killed nearly instantly.
You can't survive it.
Oh, okay, I just suck. Alright, cool.
It's very difficult on a higher difficulty setting. The snipers do a lot of damage.
I was going to say on the higher difficulty where we are, it may be not quite so easy.
I believe that I disobeyed and survived the encounter when I did it on the difficulty you're playing on now. I did not do it when I was playing on the highest difficulty. That sounded not very fun at all.
Yeah, I ended up picking the guy that went and killed the 5 people or whatever, killed the whole family.
Yeah, same choice for me.
Immediately after, you are ambushed by the 33rd. Walker yells at Conrad to have his soldiers stand down, but Conrad tells them that they want to get their revenge on the Delta Squad for what they did at the gate, where they killed a lot of the 33rd Battalion and the civilians.
Seemed a bit odd there that he just kind of made you prove your loyalty and then immediately attacked you.
Conrad is making it clear that he is not the one orchestrating that attack, but he can't hold his men back. There's a rather extended firefight, and it doesn't end until you're hit by a sandstorm, which helps you evade your attackers and find a shelter. When you find the shelter, Walker sends a message to Conrad telling him that Dubai will be evacuated and that Conrad will be relieved of his command. After the sandstorm, Delta decides to head for the tallest tower in Dubai, where they suspect that Conrad has set up his headquarters. On your way there, you find Agent Riggs under attack by the 33rd. Agent Riggs of the CIA has been mentioned before, but this is the first time you meet him. Riggs immediately tells you of his plan to take out the 33rd's water supply. As he goes through his plan, the 33rd finds you and attacks. You also learn that it is the CIA that armed the insurgents. You fight your way to the Aquatic Colosseum until you get trapped by a locked door where you are attacked by an elite squad of the battalion called the Zulu Squad.
Is this the first time you run into people that have like that armor?
Well, like the heavies.
Yeah, well, they were like smaller soldiers with like armor though. It was weird.
Yeah, these are supposed to be tougher, but I was playing on easy and couldn't tell much difference.
I could tell a slight difference just because when I made headshots, like some of them weren't going down like off the bat.
I'm hitting them in their feet and they go down on easy, so doesn't matter where you hit them, they go down anyway very fast.
Nice.
You fight off Zulu Squad until the door opens. Riggs has a very violent encounter with a soldier who basically beats to death with his gun. You then fight your way through the garage of the Aquatic Colosseum. During the fight, Adam mentions that he does not trust the CIA. And Conrad calls you and tells you that destroying the water will doom everyone in Dubai, including your team. You decide to steal the water anyway. You steal some water trucks with Riggs.
Yeah, that aquarium part I can imagine. It's really hard on hard if you don't stealth it. Because I was playing on normal and I didn't stealth it at first, and there's like a bunch of snipers that just came up. I don't know how you went about it, Ben.
I kind of had a running firefight. I just did lots of cover and taking out the snipers with headshots. I was also trying to mix up the weapons because I started popping all the achievements, so I was looking forward to sniper rifle and shotguns around corners and things. It was quite fun. I did die a lot though.
Oh, I bet.
It is a bit strange that you can totally stealth a lot of sections in this game, but it's not clear to you that you can do it. They do teach you early on how to put the silencer on a gun, but by now I'm sure many have forgotten how to do it.
Oh, I forgot. I just kept making my teammates, I kept like commanding them to do the stealth stuff.
Exactly what I did.
I couldn't figure out how to do the stealth myself, so.
I think it's just up on the D-pad, but I might be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I was looking for the controls and it wasn't anything obvious labelled in the options menu, so I just commanded the squad to kill everyone.
When you steal the water trucks, you get attacked by the 33rd, and there is a really difficult on-rails sections where you hang from the side of a truck and fire with a grenade launcher.
Yeah, I remember seeing someone in the Discord saying they quit after this part.
I couldn't get through it.
Yeah.
I remember this being one of the most difficult parts when you were playing it on the highest difficulty. You really have to hit things or they will kill you very quick.
Yeah, I went through that a few times, kind of learning the patterns and exactly where you've got to hit them when. I don't look forward to doing it on Fubar.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many checkpoints there are.
I think there's just like one throughout that whole thing, maybe.
Yeah, it might be. It's a rather long sequence. Eventually, Riggs deliberately crashes his truck and spills the remaining water. The truck you are following also crashes. Walker goes down and Conrad shows up, telling you the city will now die of thirst and that it is your fault. You wake up and see civilians trying to salvage water while the radio man broadcasts the news that all the water is gone and that it is Delta's fault.
Yeah, and Walker's pretty messed up after this too, which I mean you see throughout like I assume rest of the game. Like side of his face is just burnt and all that.
Yeah, the further you go into this game, when you start out you are you have clean clothes and everything looks good, and the further you go, the more damage you see on the characters of your squad. By now they look really beat up. You find Riggs stuck under a truck. He explains that this is what he wanted all along, and then asks you to kill him before the flames get to him. So did you kill him or not?
I shot him. Even though I do feel like he's a dickhead, but I shot him.
Yeah, same here. It wasn't a great plan, but no one deserves to go that way.
Yeah.
Well, at least not till the next playthrough.
There's an achievement for either killing him or walking away. And if you walk away, you also see a deer that you can shoot for an achievement if you didn't do it in the first part.
Yeah, I saw it, but I didn't think to shoot it. I mean...
You didn't have any ammo, you only had one bullet.
Oh, okay.
At this point, you're separated from your squad, and the radio man is very upset you destroyed all the water. You hear that Lugo is taken hostage, and you rush to save him. The 33rd is trying to get Adams to surrender while having Lugo at gunpoint and using him as a human shield. You save him by killing the guy that is holding him. At this point, you're in a big shopping mall. You fight your way through it, all the while conversing with the radio man. Things get really weird when Walker enters a mannequin room.
Oh, with like the flashing lights?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
The enemy's teleporting around, basically, it looked like.
Yeah.
The screen goes black, blinks in and out, and the enemies, they basically teleport around.
It started giving me a headache, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, ugh, I don't know how much more I can look at this.
I was playing it on easy, and the enemies go down really quick, so that sequence wasn't very long for me. I remember it taking a lot longer on a higher difficulty.
Yeah, I spent most of my time hiding behind the kind of counter thing and blind firing with a shotgun over the top.
Yeah, the team is getting very aggressive and very annoyed with the radio man, and they decide to go after him. They also plan to send an emergency broadcast to begin the evacuation using the radio man's equipment. After fighting through the mall, they find a soldier surrendering, and they threaten him rather severely, and once they've gotten all the info they wanted, they beat him down.
Well, Walker beat him down, not everybody did.
Walker did, and the entire Delta Squad are very much on edge at this moment.
Yeah.
They are not very happy, and they are not acting.
And arguing amongst themselves.
They are not acting professionally or composed at all. They are getting very angry about everything. After beating down the soldier, the radio man decides it's time for some music and sends a bunch of snipers at you. And then you zip line across some buildings. When you have zip lined from one building to another, it looks like you land on Adams and then you beat his head in.
Well, actually I died at this part, because I was like, maybe my dude's tripping and that wasn't a bad guy at first, and then, I don't know, I thought I was playing mind games with me, so I got shot and I had to reload to the checkpoint.
Yeah, so something is not very right, and it seems like Walker is cracking up.
Okay, so that was a choice then, because wasn't a choice then, because I wasn't sure.
No.
I sort of pressed B to execute and went for it. I wasn't sure if I could have said no.
Yeah. You have to kill him, because I just sat there for a second because I wasn't sure. I was like, if I do this, am I gonna like actually kill Adams or something, and like some weird hallucination? But no, he kills you and you have to retry.
After that encounter, you find the radio man's tower. He's decorated the place in a very strange fashion. You start killing off soldiers that are stationed on the roof, and while you do so, he's taunting you and makes strange comments every time not every time, but sometimes when you kill specific soldiers.
He makes a lot of video game references. Like, I remember him saying something about E for everyone, and then saying like, oh, you guys is all the violence caused by video games? Like, what is this?
And that part is very strange. The radio man is a eccentric person. After fighting through his tower, you find the radio man. He waves a white flag, but doesn't seem very bothered with you being there. The team asks him to show how to send a message, and as soon as Lugo has figured it out, he just kills the radio man.
Yeah, that part kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise.
He was pretty quick with that.
Yeah, he's basically killing him mid-sentence while they are having a conversation.
Yeah.
Before you send the message, Conrad calls in and tries to make you change your mind regarding the evacuation. But you call it in anyway, but you do not know if anyone hears the message or not. You escape the radio tower. While you do so, a lot of soldiers show up and you steal a helicopter. Delta destroys the radio tower with their helicopter to send a message.
Yeah, Walker seems like it's clear these last couple of chapters he's been losing it, but like that segment, just the way he was acting while he was shooting and stuff, or I guess while you're shooting, is just like, oh man.
He is very over the edge at this point.
Yeah.
He just wants everything destroyed. After you destroy the tower, you go into the introduction section.
Yeah, that part was trippy.
The very first thing Walker says is, "This isn't right, we did this already."
Yeah.
And it's basically the same sequence, only a bit more difficult, and they've added some missiles that you need to shoot down or you will fail. After the helicopter crashes, the screen goes red, and there's a sort of dream sequence where Conrad blames you for destroying what is left of Dubai, and you see the tall tower.
And you're like walking by victims.
There's shadows in the background, and you see the tall tower, and everything is red. And there are people walking and falling through the sand in front of you, and your victims during these days in Dubai show up, some of them, and just dies again.
Yeah, Walker's clearly in bad shape by this point, isn't he?
Conrad claims he needs to protect the city from you, and that is the end of chapter 12. So next week we will finish the game.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I don't even know what to think after this chapter 12, man. I don't even know what to think.
Yeah, the team is once again separated. They are in a even worse spot than last time. They are clearly losing it.
I think this is going to end with maybe us not being straight up the bad guys, but it's going to be kind of one of those things where it's like, are we the bad guys? Or, are we doing the right thing? Kind of. I mean, I guess that's kind of where it already is in the story, but I feel like it's going to end on a note like that.
The standout thing so far is they killed a bunch of civilians with white phosphorus.
Yes.
And then they destroyed all the remaining water in a desert city.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, and I'm not even for sure if the evacuation's the right call now. Like, I'm kind of like, maybe Conrad's right. Maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you want to evacuate the people?
I don't. Because maybe it's safer in the city. I don't know, man.
Yeah, the storm is really bad outside.
Yeah.
And the first attempt by Conrad didn't go very well. It sounded like a lot of people died the first time.
Yes.
But a lot of people are dead now as well. Admittedly, we killed them, but...
There's not much of the game left. There's only 3 chapters and an epilogue. And you might not even get an epilogue, seeing as there are multiple endings.
Dun dun dun.
And I said it before that this is a game where I think they actually nailed the endings. You might disagree with me, but I think they did it really well.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Yep, next week.
Thank you, BenL72.
Thank you.
And Dinobull.
Thank you.
For joining me. Have a nice day, everyone.
See ya.
See you next week.
There were over 5,000 people alive in Dubai the day before you arrived. How many are alive today, I wonder? How many will be alive tomorrow? I thought my duty was to protect this city from the storm. I was wrong. I have to protect it from you.
Game over.